Good evening, my fellow builders, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while since I've put anything up, and I thank you for bearing with me, but I also want to thank all of the new subscribers and viewers that have come in of late. I really appreciate the feedback and your viewership. It means a lot to me. Please continue to support the channel, like, share, and subscribe. This video is going to be a little bit shorter because it took so long for me to actually build, and this particular project, for those of you who have never played the game Zone of the Enders, this is an orbital frame. It is not a Gundam. This particular project was actually special for me as well as for a friend. This was a commission project. My dear friend Larice, she does artwork on the side, and she did a piece recently of Anubis in blue and gold, different shades of gold, and just, you know, primary blue as a base. And I'm just like, you know what, I need to bring that to life to her, for her, because when I saw it in person, it just resonated with me. So I was just like, no, I had to do it. I mean, it's predominantly a straight build, but I did have to do some customization. So if you look right here, the main thing I'm proud of for customizing is the eyes. And I say that because the eyes were initially red, but I changed them to green, and how I did that was quite simple, really. I took the green runners from my master grade Eclipse that held the beam weaponry and the beam shields, and I cut off the runner tab, cut off the tab that actually describes what the runner is, and I reshaped it to fit in the head. And unfortunately, there was some shiftage after I got the LED in place. So I was a little disappointed with that, but at the same time, you know what? It's okay, because it kind of reminds me of Barbatos and Anubis. If you played Zone of the Enders, Anubis is very imposing. So I'm just like, having one eye brighter than the other, just a swinge. It wasn't that bad. It's nothing that I didn't feel pressed enough to read. I also experimented with getting all 6 of the wings operational, and I'm glad to report they're all working. They all work. They are blue, vibrant, and it was just amazing to see all 6 of them line up, because I've seen other builders in the past light them up, but they were only able to do 4 due to wire crowding, which makes a lot of sense. But I really wanted to get all 6 lit up, and I got them done, and it was just amazing, especially to see them in the dark. One of the things I learned about this kit, well, about model building in general, is that not everything needs to be painted. And I say that because it creates unnecessary friction in certain parts, certain key areas. So parts of the connector points for the legs, they're not painted. Those are still the stock kind of creamish, coffee creamish color that they came in on the runners. But you're not going to see those at all. Like, they really, they're not super critical. So to my builders out there who are doing, you know, custom paint work, new builders especially, if you're doing custom paint work, it is not necessary to paint everything. Just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you might have to go back into, like, you know, where the peg holes are, or where the you know, where they anchor into, and you're gonna have to actually sand it out so that there is a little bit of friction, but not enough that it would be stiff, because that's how a lot of us end up getting broken joints in the hip joints and whatnot. Some things are just a little bit too tight, so you got to go in there with some sandpaper and just, you know, rigid it up just a little bit. I would recommend probably anywhere between a 600 to 800 grit. That's what I used, and it worked out just fine. But yeah, like, this kit was a blast to put together. I would only really recommend this particular kit. I would recommend Kotobukiya kits, at least for Zone of the Enders. I would only recommend those for experienced builders. I myself am an experienced builder, but at the same time, this was my very first Kotobukiya kit. Like, I have the Red 5 from Majestic Prince, but I have not built it yet, because when Anubis came in, I was just like, okay, I need to do this first, because she needs this. She needs this for a very specific place in her home, and I want to make sure that her artwork is reflected in my artwork. And yes, I think building Gunpla is an art form. It has a predetermined destination, but that's fine, because the journey is your own. How you choose to get to the end is your own. And painting this with the different kind of, painting this with the blue and the 2 different types of gold and the white, actually 3 different types of gold, because I had to hand paint the energy lines going up the body and the legs and the wings and the hieroglyphics on the action base. That took a lot of, that actually took a lot of time to do, but I was glad to be able to get it done. And what else? Oh, the action base. So if you look closely, I was actually getting set up to use the stock action base that came to, it's black, you know, right there on the screen. Black says Anubis, you know, it actually looks cool. Problem is, it was hella weak when it came to holding up the backpack, the wings, and I was not happy with that. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to glue it, because then, you know, it just I felt like something was going to go wrong with it. So I decided to actually switch it out for, you know, one of the more sturdier action bases that is specifically used for Gundam. And it took a little finagling after I painted everything, and I was able to get it done. Basically, the wings are just going to be slightly off center. I wasn't comfortable drilling another hole into the kit so that it could, you know, be perfectly lined up. But honestly, it doesn't really change it all that much. It's really only off center by maybe a few degrees. It's not a real big deal. I explained that to her. She looked at it, she said it was great. She really appreciated it. This kit overall is very robust. It's very beautiful. Even in its base colors, it is still great. But when I changed up the colors, I was just like, wow, this looks amazing. And I was a little sad to part with it, but you know, in the end, it turned out to be worth it. So I am glad to, this is actually my 3rd commission project. 4th one is on the way. I'm just waiting for my client to get back to me to send me the parts so I can do what he needs me to do. That one's gonna be small, so I don't think I'm gonna do a video for that one. But the next video, that's gonna be, I would guess you can go and chalk that up on as a Christmas special. A lot of guys have done it. I'm not even gonna spoil it for you. I'm not even gonna put it in the clip. I just want you to know it's coming. I'm gonna have to kind of rush to get this one through. Luckily, it's only gonna be a paint job. It's not gonna be any LEDs. It's just gonna be straight up paint with a little bit of scribing, and I think you'll enjoy that. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you enjoy the finished product. I will see you on the next build.